Hi, I'm Lily.
And I'm Dan.
And we are
The Load-In.
Oh, we do that one too well.
No, we never do it well, actually, to be honest. We should actually pre-record it.
There's been a few. There's been a few here and there. But anyway, enough of that.
Next time.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
It's really good to have you guys here, by the way.
Yeah. Excited, very excited.
We are.
Today we have Andrew Mortimer, Deputy Chair of British Business Group, and Kathy Brennan, the General Manager of British Business Group. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, tell us a little bit about it yourselves. Because you carry two hats.
I carry two hats. Yeah,
two jobs.
A man of many hats. It's a dangerous thing to say. So my day job. I wanted to be an international DJ. Sadly, that didn't play out. Pete Tong beat me to it.
Really?
Yeah.
You need an agent. Come and speak to me afterwards.
Yeah, so good old Pete. We're still good friends, but there's nothing to come in second, is there?
Well, there's no business with DJs right now at the moment, so probably a wise choice.
But so my international DJ career never took off. So I then opted for a career in banking. So
that's very different.
It's just slightly different.
It's like when your parents go get a real job. It's like I became an international banker.
Yeah, became an international banker. Yep. So I'm the country head for Barclays for the Middle East. So I look after all of Barclays business activities for the Middle East region.
And just for fun, also being the deputy chair.
Yeah, look, it's the reality is, if you're based out here and you're a Brit, you want to get involved and help fellow Brits. Yeah, and that's what it is. And I saw the BBG, the British Business Group, as an opportunity. I've got a business background. Where can I help? And got involved probably about 4 years ago now.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And Kathy, you do it full time?
I do it full time, yes.
Looking after all of them?
Keeping them all in check. So I came on board last January. It's been a roller coaster. Well, a year and a half ago. Yeah. So it's been a roller coaster ride, but really, really great fun. I had a commercial real estate background, and I've worked in a couple of different industries, a couple of different roles, so it sort of brought all the skills together. It's a great job. It's a super organisation to be involved with. The ethos behind it is fantastic.
I was going to say it's a great organisation. It's been around for a while. I can't remember exactly how many years.
33 years.
30 plus years, yeah.
Because it was one of the founding business associations from a long time. Because when I first came to Dubai 14 years ago, everyone was like, you need to join the BBG. Yeah. It's kind of like the go-to place for...
But did you know what the BBG was? That's one of my first questions. What is the BBG?
Well, I kind of did, because I did some research.
So what did you see it as?
A collective of, British businesses or British-owned businesses that come together that share knowledge, ideas, network, build relationships, and hopefully make some money out of it, I guess.
Did he get it right?
More or less.
I know. In layman's terms.
It's like that come dine with me and we put the scorecard up. I'll give him a 7. Yeah, I'd have given him a 7, maybe an 8 for that answer. Yeah, not far off.
Kathy, do elaborate for us.
Well, I suppose having done a bit of a deep dive into the group and what it stands for recently, it's a big ecosystem of businesses getting together with the British standards at the core, and just networking and trying to help each other out. We're looking to expand the network as well, so we work with other BBGs in the different regions, and we also work with other business network or business groups within Dubai, the international groups. So it's a network that's expanding really rapidly.
Members do you have?
We've over 700 members at the moment.
That's a significant group of people.
Yeah.
It should be more. Yeah, I agree. So 700 is a great number, but it should be more. Yeah, and that's where we want to position ourselves. We want to grow the membership, because the reality is the real value of the BBG is the value you get from the membership. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really is. So from our perspective, and sort of to elaborate a little bit on what Kathy was saying, where we've positioned the BBC and what we've worked through over the last 2 years is to position the BBG really to be almost the association, the go-to association for stakeholders in the region, business stakeholders. So what do I mean by business stakeholders? So if you're looking at the local government authorities here, so Dubai authorities, Abu Dhabi authorities, if they want to engage with British business or get a view from British business, BBG is the channel through which they'll engage. And likewise with the UK Embassy and also Department of International Trade, from an international perspective, again, if they're looking to engage and understand what's happening in terms of British businesses across the full spectrum, so multinational corporates right the way through to SMEs, the BBG is their means of engagement. But to come back to the 700, that engagement is far more effective the more members you've got. Because actually then you can give a much better litmus test of just how people are feeling, what they're thinking, and what's going on. That's our big push, is to expand that membership.
Nice.
With the members, what sort of cross section do you have? Like, it's fantastic to hear you being event focused are part of the membership. But
I need to do more though. I need to get more involved. We do support, but as any member,
we'll use this as a time to.
Well, we cut across every sector really. We've about 25 listed. When you go onto the CRM, and a lot of new emerging sectors as well, and the membership sort of fluctuates within those sectors. At some stages, you'll have a very high percentage of members from certain industry, then that can fall away just through the natural way the business is going. At the moment, obviously, we're seeing a large increase in digital, IT, health. So a lot of new emerging industries coming out of the whole lockdown.
COVID sort of put a squeeze on everyone. So as an SME yourselves, the COVID situation has affected you, especially and quite relevant to our sort of viewership, the event side. If you guys can really speak from that perspective. I read you got 60 events a year.
Weekly, evening, morning events, and then we've 3 big social events a year. So lockdown happened a week before our golf event, which is an annual golf event. It's been going for 25, 30 years. And that was a big loss of revenue for us. That really hit us quite, and it was only a week, it was so frustrating.
And at that point you do have to pay out, you've already paid 80%, 90% of the project.
Yeah, a lot, again, and this comes back to being part of a community like the BBG. There was a lot of understanding with the suppliers. There's a lot of, they've worked with us to try and find a solution to this, and hopefully the event is going to take place in October.
Really?
So
we've seen quite a lot of things actually. I've seen a lot of press releases this week about large events.
Tomorrow, right? There's supposed to be something on the 16th.
There's a big thing on the 16th, but also as well, there's lots of tech conferences and things being launched, and GITEX. Everything being announced.
October, right?
Yes, it'll be announced for October. So hopefully things start to get back to some sort of normal, I guess, and events will start to happen. Because those type of events are fundamental to the BBG from a revenue generation, because you guys are a non-for-profit, and to keep the association going, the overheads, and the staffing, but also from a community aspect, people still like that live interaction and want to go and network and, I guess, hopefully pass some business amongst each other over a social event.
You're spot on. I think actually, the events has hurt us, and I think once. When all this unfolded in March, we sat down the first week in April, and just like any SME, had to really quickly assess, okay, what do we do now? We've got fixed costs. We've got some variable costs, but not that many. But revenue-wise, with the event stream being a major chunk of our revenue, that evaporated overnight. And it's required us to adapt very quickly, because the key challenge for someone like the BBG is, you have to be relevant to your members.
Very true.
And you have to be relevant in the situation that you're in. So just because we couldn't physically host events as we had done, didn't mean then we could just switch off doing events. Because our members are reaching out saying, look, we want information on this, we want information on that, what's going on here. And so we've had to adjust very quickly around how we can present content. And not leave too big a gap on things like the networking side and whatever else, just to ensure the membership feel there's a value proposition of being part of BBG.
I was going to say that value and that relevance probably becomes more obvious or more required during times of crisis, because people need an official outlet for real tangible information, guidance, and also some direction, I guess, in terms of what the future could hold. And as businesses, we've all been financially impacted in different ways throughout this entire crisis. So we'd look to associations to help give us that support and, I guess, leadership to be able to navigate these times.
It was the statistic that you came away with after sitting with the team
Yeah.
that really got us wanting to get you guys in. SMEs make what, 85%?
Well, but from an employment perspective, 86% of the private sector employment is SMEs.
That's fast.
That's crazy.
That's massive, man. I mean, and if you look, I mean, I won't get too stato here, but yeah, you look at that as an employment statistic. If you then look at it from a GDP in terms of contribution to the to the economy, it's 60% of the non-oil GDP of the UAE is output from the SME sector. Yeah. So if you're looking to diversify your economy, which the UAE leadership is, the SME is, whether you say SME, the SME sector is the engine or the gearbox. Yeah. It's a pretty important component. Yeah,
well, it's like without the SMEs you can't function.
Basically, that's exactly.
So you struggle to function.
You struggle to function, and also, and you lose a lot of that entrepreneurial edge as well. Like I work for a big multinational corporate. Yeah, we're clunky. Yeah. We've got innovation teams, whatever else, and we try and be innovative, but it's the SME segment. They're the ones who are pushing the boundaries, challenging the status quo, being disruptive. Yeah. If you lose that aspect of your economy.
That's also something that the UAE's always been really proud of, having those innovators here and attracting that. So it is very important for that to sort of be looked after, which sort of leads me to my next question or the next topic, which is you guys have actually stayed relevant. You've got your webinars, you've got your surveys, you've got the task force. Share a bit about all of those.
Well, the webinars were a bit of a baptism of fire. Honestly, you see the panic on my face, the horror as I remember.
Those first few,
Oh my goodness.
But it's like everyone's like, we need to do digital. Even with us with the podcast, it's like, right, it was full of errors, things would not move it. Like,
one of them, just the audio and visual did not connect.
I hadn't even heard of Zoom before. And, we had Teams actually as part of our Microsoft package, but none of us had ever used it before. It used to pop up on my PC every night. I go, I wonder what that is. X out of it, And then all of a sudden, you're conducting not only your day-to-day operations within the team, but your communication with the board, but also your communication out to the members as well. So. That was a real learning curve, and there was a lot of stress associated with that as well, and I'm sure that's echoed through a lot of businesses. Especially when you don't have a techie team sitting on your shoulder.
I spoke to my mum the other day. She works in local government in the UK, and she's been mandated to work from home and having to use Zoom and all the rest of it. And she had a panic attack. Literally, she was like, "I don't like this." She's like 62. I'm gonna get that wrong. She's gonna kill me for that. But she's like, I just want to meet people. She was like, I don't know how this works.
I had my parents asking for tech support from me in Dubai, in Melbourne. I'm like, how? Go ask my brother. And they're like, they've got no clue. Like, my brothers are just so not into the digital world. So I literally was doing screenshots from mum and dad and sending it through. This is how you Zoom.
Yeah, away you go.
Yeah,
enjoy.
But sorry, we digress.
So I mean, there was a number of decisions that had to be made. Do we invest in a platform, or is our own digital proposition letting us down? And then even just communicating out to the members, will they be able to join in? Have they got the tech capacity as well? And it's been pretty tough. And then even just moving your events to online, especially when, everything about the BBG is sort of face-to-face connections and all of that. So that's been I
think that's humanity. I keep advocating this for everything that we do. We all, as humans, we love the live experience. And yes, digital is great because it helps and we can connect amazingly with people around the world. But if I want to do business with someone, I want to sit down and have a conversation with them. I want a coffee with them. I want to take them for a drink. I used to always say that when
you want to look them in the eye.
In my younger days, when I first started the business, we got most of our business over a bar. By taking the clients out for a drink and that social interaction.
Dan's never invited me.
No, it's the first time we met properly.
I've missed this. It's all about the science of happiness. In the science of happiness, there's the relationship component. And that relationship, you need that human element. And you don't get that.
You don't feel that.
But look, the reality is, it was a needs must situation.
You guys did it really well.
Look, I think we did it. We did it well. I think we caught up quickly. I think what we did do well was we were very quick to, effectively off our own backs, initiate a survey of members. In partnership with our colleagues in Abu Dhabi, so the British Business Group in Abu Dhabi. We basically worked together and pulled together a very quick survey, because we thought, look, if we've got some content from our membership, we can push that content through channels. So you can push it through the Ministry of Finance, you can push it through the Chamber of Commerce, you can push it through UK Embassy, Department of International Trade. If you've got content, you don't want anecdotal, so and so's not happy, but if you've got some content, people will hear you. And at that point in time, people really wanted to hear. We did the survey. We've got fabulous response rate from our members.
I did, actually. I did.
Cool. Yeah.
And I saw it was also in conjunction. I saw at a similar time a survey came out from Dubai Chamber as well, specifically for SMEs,
which is brilliant. So we were able to feed that into the system to say very much at the outset, look, these are the pinch points. And we shared it with the central bank. We shared it with the UAE Banks Federation. So through multiple channels, they actually got the message that amongst the British business community based here on the ground, with multinational corporates right the way through to SMEs, this is what we're thinking, this is what we're feeling. And also we want to help. So if you want more from us, come back to us. We'll engage with that membership and we'll play back what they say.
And I guess that engagement is still continuing.
It's constant.
So the task force, is that part of the task force, or did this lead into?
You guys. Where'd you get this information from?
I do my
She's really good,
homework.
actually.
So I'm a bit nervous about what follows on. But the task force, and you please share your thoughts. Okay, the task force was a response to us being on the front foot with the survey. Because it's a bit like, actually, if you guys have got content and you're engaged with your membership, and your membership is playing information back to you, you're the guys we want to talk to. Because we're gonna get a better look and feel as to what's going on. And what happened with there was this sort of multinational business council task force, is the authorities turned around and said, look, across the sectors, what are the issues? Where are the real pain points? And on the BBG side, they reached out and they said, look, for financial services, can you guys lead the financial services stream of work? And as a BBG, we basically brought together Barclays, we brought together HSBC and Standard Chartered. So 3 FTSE 100 UK companies, heavyweight banks, all of whom have got a sizable presence here in the UAE. The 3 banks sat down along with the guys from the Department of International Trade, so from UK government. We sat down and basically thrashed out what we thought was sort of 4 or 5 quick responses the government could give, which could make a difference. And some of those they've acted on already. Some we understand are still in process. But there's some simple things they can do, and we're going to continue to push those to say, look, guys, if you really feel this is important, you've got to do it.
Go on, I'll let you go first.
Which ones have they acted on?
So
people can see.
The first one I've acted on is off the back of invoicing. So basically, where you've got invoices that are sort of government entities, government-related entities, the payment of those invoices, the ability to get financing from the banks off the back of those invoices is good. But look, other ones we're pushing are things like deferral of VAT. SMEs, are struggling for cash.
True story.
No.
I can vouch for that.
But it's true. The stimulus packages that have come out so far, as good as they've been, haven't provided the liquidity or the working capital at the SME end of the spectrum that the SMEs need. And I think if you look at the UK example, and this is one of the examples we shared as the UK banks, the bounce back loans in the UK work really well, and they are working really well. I've got pals of mine, who are basically self-employed or run small businesses. They've got access to the bounce back loans in the space of 72 hours.
I mean, that's incredible, because I'll vouch for myself as a small business. To get finance in this country is extremely difficult at the best of times, never mind during a global financial crisis. And I genuinely believe I have a sound business. We will get through this at some point. But it's always like you need that kind of, I guess, financial support, or just something just to help you get through a circumstance which has just been completely beyond your control.
It's the age, I think, cash is king.
Very true.
You can have a great business.
You can't take a brick out of the wall.
No, that's the problem. But so what we pushed for is we said, look, okay, you've got various stimulus packages that you're pushing through, but there's some simple things you can do as well. Defer VAT. Just say, if it's a business has a revenue of below X, if it's less than 5 million dirhams or whatever else, annual revenue, just say, okay, you don't have to pay VAT for 9 months or 12 months.
I know that was a big thing for the event industry here.
Yeah.
Because I think obviously once this financial crisis hit, lots of VAT bills were due in April.
Yeah. And
they were significant. Like my one was pretty high.
Yeah.
And it's cash which you could have kept within the business. Which would
just to keep it going.
Completely.
Yeah.
And that was one of our suggestions. So look, and it's one we're still pushing. So it can help.
Yeah.
It will help.
The task force is still ongoing. AmCham are pushing out and doing a lot of the external organisation behind that. But so there's still real opportunity and for members if they want to get involved.
Well, I was going to say, what advice do you have for SMEs and your members and even non-members? What should they be doing right now?
Well, in terms of the task force, there's a number of different categories under which they can get involved, whether it be finance, whether it be HR, supply chain, or industry specific, hospitality, F&B, events. And just let us know, communicate to us and let us know, and we'll give you a voice in one of these committees. So they're round tables where people are sitting together, they're really thrashing out the pain points and then framing recommendations that are going straight to government.
Pick up the phone and talk. And it's important to say here that the task force isn't just the BBG. It's not.
No, absolutely not.
Everyone should get involved with.
There's over 25 international business councils that are part of this. So it's every SME in every sector across Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
So regardless of your passport, pick up the phone and speak to your association.
I think your people are involved.
The Australians are
in there.
Absolutely.
They are for sure.
Well, this is incredible because finally, and we're seeing this in the events industry as well, like all these different areas which were kind of a little bit fragmented before and working in different silos are actually all coming together now to hopefully push for some tangible solutions and to navigate through, the period.
But it's also a testament to you guys. 30 years of hard work. You have a voice with them.
You
have that voice, you have that channel, and that I commend you for that, because that's impressive. That's impressive to have that.
You've got to have that relevance. But I think coming back to your point, Dan, I think if we look at the financial crisis, which is 12, 13 years ago now, organisations coming out of the financial crisis were very much focused on themselves. It was all about self-survival. For want of a better term. I do think with this crisis, it's not a financial crisis, it's far more of a sort of economic, social crisis. And I think that's changed people's mindsets.
100%.
Yeah, so if I look, it's a small example, and I'm sure there are some fabulous ones out there, but the bank's webinar event we did, the multi-task force we did, that's the first time Barclays, HSBC and Standard Chartered literally have sat down, effectively all opened up the kimono and said, this is what we think. Now, that would never have happened 12, 13 years ago. And that's just because I think, whether it be in the banking sector, it's in the marketing sector, it's in the event sector, I think you've got this sense of community now where it's like, we've all got to try and help each other, because actually coming out of this, there'll be a big enough cake for there'll be a big enough cake for us all of us to get a nice slice. But if we don't get out of this quickly, actually that cake's just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I think that's exactly it. And that's a positive, I think. If there are any positives coming out of this, it's definitely a positive.
Our chat with Alex Malouf, one of our other segments, that's exactly what he was talking about. He's the contributing writer to Entrepreneur Middle East, and he focuses on SMEs. And he said the silver lining he sees there, one of them is that this is making people come together. This is making people wanting to create better systems, and to look after each other and to have a better platform. So you got to see the positive there as well.
I think for sure. I mean, you do loads. I mean, you're talking to the other business councils all the time.
Yeah. Look, we will share a lot of best practice, what's working, what's not working, because you have to. And these are people that are in the same position as me, who are relating to their members as well. And so they're hearing different things, I'm hearing different things, and you get together and you really are working together to find proper solutions now, because absolutely everyone is feeling this. So.
Yeah. Well, I've got two more questions, and I'm not quite sure which order to do it in, so I'm just going to throw it out there.
Are they football related, DJ related.
The DJ ones are coming afterwards. We're going to interview.
Exactly.
Yeah, interview with DJ next.
I'll go the finance one first because I'd like to finish off with BBG. But from a finance perspective, while we have you here, the light at the end of the tunnel. People are wondering, is it there?
It's now the time to buy or now the time to sell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can either offer a buy or sell recommendation. I'm not that. Look, I think. Look, it's tough times ahead. I think anybody would be foolish to think otherwise. I think there's some quite concerning data points. You know, if you look at, I think the Dubai economy. I think S&P, Standard & Poor's, which is one of the big credit rating agencies, I think it's forecast that the Dubai economy is going to shrink by 17%.
Wow.
This year. Now that's a massive reduction. But if we look at the UK, the UK GDP dropped by something like 20%. I think it was.
It's like 25%. For the last quarter.
Yeah, which is just these are just enormous contractions. And they cause a severe shock to the system. It's almost like a cardiac arrest to the system, and you've got to revive it. And what governments have done, and really the only thing they can do in revive it is basically print money. So literally, the money supply coming out of the central banks has been phenomenal. And I think one of the bit of research I read said that I think global government debt has exceeded 100% of global GDP for the first time ever in history. And that's because central bank.
Back to bed.
But I think it's reality. That's the sort of almost like the I can't think what that machine is. The sort of shock. Effectively just revitalise the economy, and then now we're going to go through a period of sort of almost like intensive care. Just to get ourselves out of it. But that's going to take a number of years. I was watching an interview. I think it was on either Sky News or BBC News with a guy. It was actually the CEO of Gatwick Airport. And he just said, look, he said we've reopened the airport. We're doing 200 flights a day or 200 flights a month. I think it was. And normally we do like 11,000 a month or whatever else. But he said, look, Gatwick Airport will not be operationally where it was in 2019 for another 3 or 4 years. And I think that's almost like the intensive care part. I think some will come through much faster, but others will come through at a much slower rate. But I think almost like the big sort of adrenaline shot is going to be the vaccine. I think once the vaccine is found, I think that will make a significant difference. I think it'll make a significant difference. I hope.
Well, Kathy, what's next for BBG?
Lots of exciting stuff, actually. Undertaking a number of projects at the moment. The first one on top of my list is the whole review of the digital platforms, and trying to make that more relevant to the way people view content now. Lockdown has just changed it all. So it's really just getting an understanding of that and finding the best way to utilise it. We are reaching a lot more internationally to increase the network for our Dubai-based members, our UK-based members, so that wherever in the world through BBG they get a soft landing. We're doing a lot of work with the Department of International Trade. That's always very exciting, and it's nice to know that we're sort of aligned with their way of doing things. I suppose the big one for me at the moment, where I'm trying to get back into gear and really trying to get my head back around what this is going to look like, is our events.
You still have that, you need that conversation.
Really and truly, and it's not just the sort of the more business networking events that we traditionally ran every morning or in morning and evening time. Most of that has gone web-based now. And that kind of worries me a little bit, because I think we're all getting webinar
Zoom fatigue.
Especially when even just a lot of your day-to-day business meetings take place in front of the screen as well. So trying to think of alternatives around that. And then the other big one is our big key social events, and I think everybody is really ready for some sort of a social event.
For somebody who works in the events industry, it's actually refreshing.
Exactly.
No, but that really, it's frustrating for me as well. I want to get out and about and see people as well.
And it's nice to know that people want to do that, because we do still like that social element. I think what's going to be interesting with, especially the business side of the events industry, is, we've been talking to previous guests about hybrid models. So you have the live experience, but you also have that digital plug-in now, because so many people want that. But I think a lot more people are going to really sit down and want to know the why are we doing this event? What is the tangible outcome? What is going to be that return on the investment? So people are going to start making a lot more smarter decisions. But you guys do a really good job at, the type of content and the discussion topics, and I guess the results at the end of them as well. There's something tangible which always comes out of the events that you guys do.
I would say even the nature of the topic of the business events that we put on is going to change, because there's so many businesses suffering now, and there's so much talk about resilience and transitioning out of this, so a lot of the natural topics that we would maybe have included in our yearly diary going to have to change. So it's every single aspect of the process.
That you guys are hearing, you're listening. You're listening and you're constantly changing. So you're hearing that people need X, Y, and Z information, not A, B, and C, and you're quick to do that. And that again is something that's fantastic to see, and more of a reason for people to get involved with their associations.
Absolutely,
definitely. I mean, I think it's that involvement is key, because we've got a large membership. Of that large membership, I think it's fair to say a number are passive. And we want to encourage the passive to come forward and tell what it is you want, what are you looking for, etc. Because we know we've got to be more agile. We've got to adapt quickly, and we've got to constantly ensure we're relevant. But part of that adaptation is relevance is driven by the feedback from the membership.
And on a personal level, I believe associations are more relevant now than ever. Because as we've just been talking about previously, and we've had in every single discussion we've had, is we need to come together as communities, as business groups, as individuals, to really just get through this, because it's really difficult to do it on your own.
Exactly.
You need that
and
support.
here is a platform that's already there.
Exactly.
You guys have already done the work, 30 years of creating that voice. Guys, get out there, pick up the phone, get onto your associations and support.
Cool.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the hard work behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Because I know as members we see things, but we don't fully appreciate and understand the stuff that actually does go on, and the hard work and the graft and the conversations.
That's October.
That's Kathy in the business. That's Kathy in the business team.
No, the business team are really good. The girls are very highly engaged, and they've been part of the BBG a long time, so they really understand how networks work. Well, we've got a really good board as well. I have to say, the board. I know, but people don't realise how much the board actually contribute, both with their knowledge and expertise, but also their time, and that's what keeps the BBG going. So
it's fantastic.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. We will see you at the next social event.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
See you at the bar.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Thank you
very
much.
Cheers, all the best.